Hi, I'm Daphne and welcome to my Yin Yoga YouTube channel. Thanks for coming. Today's practice we're going to focus on the spine. And what does that mean? That means we're going to be moving the spine in all 6 directions. So we'll take lateral directions, left and right. We'll take some flexion. We'll take some extension. And then we'll rotate the spine in both directions, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. So for today's practice, you will need the standard bolster, blanket, a few blocks. If you don't have a bolster, you can do a makeshift bolster by folding up a few blankets, or you might use a couple of bed pillows. And you will definitely need the bolster for what we're doing today, okay? So we're gonna begin on the back. Very slowly come down to your back. And once you arrive on your back, close your eyes. We're going to begin in Bananasana. That really is the name of the pose. So from your position on your back, bring your arms over your head, framing your ears. And then I want you to slide your left leg out to the side as far as it comfortably goes. And then bring your right leg around to follow it. Keep your shoulders and your hips connected to the ground, and then start to sweep your upper body around to the left as well, creating this sort of banana shape in your body. And once you've adjusted yourself, you might consider placing the foot of the right leg on top of the foot of the left leg, or the opposite of that. The left foot crosses on top of the right. You might use your left hand to grab the right wrist and gently pull the right arm further over your head. You can let your head rest in whatever direction it feels most comfortable. And then come back to your breath. You should feel a stretching sensation here along the right side of your body. So this doesn't have to be a terribly deep opening here on the right side of the body, just enough so that you can begin to feel that gentle tugging, pulling. You may feel it along your waist. You may also feel this along the outer right hip and even a little bit into the right thigh, depending on how far you've moved your legs over to the left. And as you settle into this reclined Bananasana shape, start to slow down your breath. Pay particular attention to any spots in your body that feel tight, and see if you can move yourself around a little bit, maybe to relax a bit more into this opening shape. This one can be very subtle for some people, but quite intense for others. There's no right or wrong way to feel this. And take a deep inhale, a slow, complete exhale. And the next time you inhale, start to straighten your body back out, re-centering yourself on the floor or on your mat. And then we're going to take Bananasana over to the opposite side. Slide the right leg out and away. Let the left leg move over to meet it. Cross the feet, the ankles in whatever way feels good, and then start to move the arms over to the right. Once again, creating that banana shape in your body, and make your little nuanced adjustments. Again, make sure that you try to keep your shoulders and your hips connected to the ground. So a lot of times I see people trying to end up on one side of their body, and then you're not really getting that stretching sensation that you want to feel now here in the left side of your body. Come back to your breath. Close your eyes. Now is the time, in addition to starting to slow your breath, that you begin to distance your mind from all of the chatter that is likely there as you become more settled in your stillness in your body. Take a deep inhale and exhale completely. And the next time you inhale, again, start to straighten your body out, recenter yourself, and then just take a moment here to breathe deeply a few times. And then bring the sole of your left foot to your floor, your mat. Lift your hips up and move them a little bit over to the right. Roll yourself onto the left side and then gently press yourself up into a seat. Excellent. Grab your bolster. Place the bolster in your sitting position right up against your right hip. So horizontally right up against your right hip. And then you're going to keep your right leg folded in front of you, and then you're going to fold your left leg behind you. So this sort of baby swan leg position. Grab onto a block, you might need it, and just place it right above the bolster. And then we're going to take half moon, the yin half moon. So again, you've got the bolster scooted up, snuggled up against your right hip. And then just start to walk the right fingers down as you recline the right side of your body. Lift yourself up through the side spine here to give yourself some length as you begin to recline. And then you can bring the left arm up over your head to meet the right. And then as you start to settle into this, you're going to notice some areas that maybe don't feel so comfortable. So first area may be your neck. So if you want, place a block underneath the right side of your head and move the right arm in front of the block. And you can keep the left arm above your head if you like, or maybe it just wants to slide in front of you. And then play around with the position of your legs. You might try moving the top leg, the left leg, a little bit further back, scooting the foot behind you. You might feel some interesting sensations along the inside of the left leg if you do that. And then just start to let your body become heavy on top of the bolster. And where you want to feel this, in case you didn't already know, is along the left side of your body. So close your eyes, come back to your breath. Make any adjustments with the arms or the legs. You might, as you start to get comfortable here, decide that it feels better for you to roll your body forward slightly, or it may feel really nice to start to roll your body behind you a little bit, getting a little bit into a back bend. This is one of my favorite poses for really getting into the side body in a comfortable, relatively comfortable way, using this bolster to help with this lateral stretching along the left side here. It doesn't have to be a deep sensation in order to get some benefit here. Don't forget to feel your breath. Maybe use that sensation and awareness of your breath to quiet your mind. And take a deep inhale. Complete exhale. And to come out of this half moon, just going to press through the left palm to start to slowly lift yourself out of the half moon, back up into your seat. You can keep the bolster where it is or move it slightly away from you. You may need it for what we're doing next. Bring your left leg folded in front of your right. And here we have our basic shoelace position. If you have another variation of a shoelace pose that you like to use, maybe you keep yourself cross-legged, maybe you stack your shins, perhaps you stack your knees in a wide or tight shoelace. So you decide, left leg is in front or on top, right leg is behind or on the bottom. Take an inhale to lift and lengthen, and exhale. Begin to draw the upper body forward. As you start to move into this, feel into your body. Notice where the sensation is occurring, and then decide how to position yourself to hold this. Once you make all of your little adjustments into areas of sensation, outer hips, lower back, decide what you might need in order to support you so that you can maintain stillness in this shape. Take an inhale and exhale to fold the upper body forward and come back to your breath. So a long, long time ago, Socrates said something like, if you would look to seek health, then you should focus your attention first on your spine. You knew that all those years ago. And then many years later, another person came along, Martha Graham, famous dancer, choreographer, and she said something like the spine is the tree of life and that we should respect it. And take an inhale to lift and lengthen. Deep, complete exhale. Next time you inhale, start to come out of your shoelace variation back into your upright seated position. If you had a bolster supporting you in any way, move it out of the way. And then straighten your legs in front of you for caterpillar pose. Remember, in caterpillar pose, you can keep your legs tightly together if you like, or you can widen them a bit. Remember to support yourself if you need to with blocks underneath your knees, or maybe the bolster underneath your knees. Take an inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold forward. Caterpillar is one of the best yin pose variations that you can do to really get into the lower spine, into your lumbar spine. So what are you feeling right now as you're coming into your caterpillar? Can you identify areas of sensation in your lower back, and what do they feel like? Are they superficial sensations? Are they deep and more subtle? Is it isolated sensation that you're just feeling in a very specific area, or is it diffused into other parts of your lower back or other parts of your body? Don't lose the steady, rhythmic flow and quality of your breath. Relax the muscles in your face and your throat. Shoulders. And let your belly be soft. Let it go. There is no pulling the navel back into the spine in this yin caterpillar. Let the belly expand. And take a deep inhale and exhale completely. And inhale to rise slowly. Okay. If you had anything supporting you, move it out of the way, blocks or your bolster. Actually, you're going to take your bolster and move it over to the left outer hip. And then you're going to fold the left leg in front of you as you fold the left leg behind you. So we're taking that sequence over to the opposite side now. Again, make sure that you've got the bolster snuggled up against your left hip horizontally. And start to slide the left fingers down as you recline the left side of your body. Make sure you've got a block on the way down in case you need it to support your neck. And then move the right arm up and over your head to meet the left. And then make your adjustments. Play around with what the right leg is doing, the left leg is doing. Play around with the position of your arms. Play around with whether your body is folding slightly forward or maybe moving slightly backward. And then again, once you've made those decisions and adjustments, close your eyes and come back to your breath. As with any asymmetrical pose in a yin practice, it's likely that you're going to notice a difference in how one side performs versus the other side. So you may feel it in different parts of your body, and one or the other side may feel better, easier, or it may feel tighter, more constricted. And so you have to moderate yourself or modify yourself to get into a position that is that right balance, as always in a yin practice, the balance in between comfort and discomfort, or that just right feeling. I've heard people call it the Goldilocks position. And take a deep inhale. Slow, complete exhale. Come back to your normal breath, and then use your right hand to press through the ground or the bolster to slowly lift yourself back up. into your seat. And then you're going to cross the right leg in front of you. So back again into your shoelace variation where you can remain in this cross-legged, or you stack your shins, you stack your knees for the wide or the very tight shoelace, and you decide what feels better for you today. And just because you took one variation on the opposite side doesn't necessarily mean that you have to take the same one on the side that we're doing now, because our bones are different on both sides of our body too. Find what works for you. Right leg is either in front or on top. Take an inhale to lift and lengthen, and exhale, draw the upper body forward and come into your forward fold. Use your props. There are too many configurations within the realm of possibility to try to describe every possible version of how you might set yourself up with your props. And that's why it's really important to experiment and explore, see what works for you. Maybe a bolster in front of you does. Maybe you need to put a block on top of the bolster to support the weight of your head. Maybe neither of those items helps you. And in order to really get into this sensation, particularly in the lower back here, maybe you have to give up the bolster or the block or the props. But if they support you, if they help the bones in your body to relax or to be supported so that your muscles can relax, then they can be very useful. And take a deep inhale. And a complete and total exhale. And inhale to rise slowly out of your shoelace variation. Yeah, slow rise up. And then from here, we're just going to do a little bit of brief dynamic movement. So bring yourself calmly to a tabletop position. And once you've gotten to that tabletop position, as you inhale, let your belly drop, lift your chest, lift your gaze, close your eyes. And remain here for the exhale. And inhale to lift the spine, let the head drop down. Remain for the exhale. And do that one more time, but this time we'll just take one breath. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the spine, and exhale the opposite direction. Lift the spine, drop the head. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, belly drops, lift the head. Exhale, lift the spine, let the head drop. Come back to neutral, and then lower yourself down to your belly. And then once you come down, cross your forearms above your head, and maybe rest either the forehead or one side of your face on top of your palms or on top of the floor, your mat. Remaining here for a few rounds of breath. Savoring this rebound position where you really just give up any sensation and you just become aware of what's happened in your body. And if you rested one side of your face, switch to the opposite side. If you've rested one side of your face, bring your head back to center, come up to your forearms for Sphinx pose. If you have bolsters or blocks or whatever that are far away from you, slowly break your position so that you can drag them closer to you. You might want to use your bolster, for example, to slide underneath your upper body so that you can give yourself some support here. For me, it just helps my upper body to relax, so I don't feel like I have to engage so much. And you might also use blocks to support your head. Just make sure in this Yin Sphinx pose that you're relaxing your lower body. And it helps sometimes if you feel as though you're getting too much compression in your lower spine to widen the legs a little bit, or as much as you need to. Maybe you even widen the arms, move them a little bit further forward. And then come back to your breath. about 7 layers or so of connective tissues that surround the spine in your body. And as a Yin Yoga practice is focused on those tissues instead of your muscles, really, much more tuning into the deeper tissues in your body. This long, sustained practice of maintaining these shapes in Yin Yoga has a powerful effect on these deeper tissues. Alternating compression and pulling apart of these tissues is doing much to keep the bones and the joints in our body flexible and healthy. Without the health of these tissues, those other important parts and areas of our body would suffer. And for many people too. So you can remain here in Sphinx pose. If you feel like you can move into a little bit of a deeper edge, you can take this into a seal pose by pressing through the palms to lift and straighten the arms off the ground. If seal feels like too much and you've already got the bolster beneath your upper body, then instead rest your forearms on top of the bolster. Or if you don't have that, break your pose if you need to drag a bolster or maybe a couple blocks to rest your forearms on. If you made the transition from Sphinx pose to one of these other 2 variations, make sure that you bring your attention back to your lower body, soften it up, let it go, and come back to your breath. And take a deep inhale and a complete exhale. Come back to your normal breath rhythm and then make a slow, steady, calm transition back into a child's pose. So you can bring your knees close together. You're gonna feel some nice stretch in the lower back if you do that, or you can bring the knees wide and then just continue with a little more opening in the upper body, a little more gentle extension in the spine. Come back to your breath. And take a deep inhale. Complete exhale. Inhale to walk your hands back toward your knees, shifting your upper body above your heels, and then move your hips over to one side. Bring your legs in front of you, and then you're going to make your way down to your back. So on your way down, once again, and as always, bring your props along with you so that you have some easy access. And then once you come down to your back, let yourself go here. Another opportunity for a little bit of rebound, a little bit of noticing, not trying to understand the whys of what you're feeling so much as just being aware and identifying where those feelings might be occurring. It's not always physical. You may be having some intense emotion as well. And then from your reclined position, bring your feet to the floor, to your mat. Bring the feet wide. Bring the knees wide. Move your arms up closer to your shoulders or to your ears. And then slowly, gently let both legs drop over to the right. You can remain in this option here, or if you like, maybe you bring the knees together, stack them into a more traditional version of spinal rotation. You might need to adjust your hips so that they're atop of one another, and you might want to place a block or blanket or bolster in between the knees, or if you've gone with that first variation, maybe you've got some support underneath the left inner thigh, and then come back to your breath. There's no right thing to do with your arms or the position of your head. You can certainly turn the head in the opposite direction of your knees. You can certainly bring your arms out into a T position, but it doesn't really matter. What matters most is occurring more in the upper, middle, and lower back. Sliding into this rotation of the spine, slowly relaxing into it. So that it becomes completely effortless. Again, take a deep inhale. Slow, complete exhale. And on your next inhale, bring your legs slowly up. Readjust the hips, the pelvis if you need to. Recentering yourself. And then again, widen your feet, widen your knees. Let both legs drop over to the left. Or if you prefer that more traditional version of a twist, stack your knees and your hips. And maybe you have a block in between your legs to give you some support here. And then come back to your breath. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhale, bring the legs back up. And then come into a final relaxation position. Relaxing the legs in front of you. Maybe your arms are sliding off to the sides or over your head. Cover yourself up if you need to, and then close your eyes. Let your breath be uncontrolled here, so don't try to take active breath in this final relaxation. Just let it be smooth and steady, unmanipulated. The only thing that you're feeling now is a very deep sense of relaxation. The bones and your body are slowly falling toward the ground. The bones are releasing and heavy. The breath is quiet and still. Your mind is at ease. You are here and nowhere else. You can remain here in this reclined relaxation position and stay for as long as you like. Or you can slowly begin to make your way up into a seat to close practice in a seated position. Take your time. And if you've come to a seat, you can let your hands rest on your knees or bring them to prayer at heart center. And as always, I thank you for coming to practice Yin Yoga with me, and I really appreciate your presence. Man Me Ram, Hat Me Kam. Keep your head in the world, but your heart in your God. Namaste.